Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to Tangle Time Arts. My name is Nana Heron, and I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. And I'm thrilled to be here with you, ringing in the new year. I'm so excited for 2025. And I'm so happy to see 2024 be done with. So, we're going to start the year off with our Word of the Year project. And this time I've chosen a Zendala. Um, if you've been following me for a while, you know I love working with the Zendalas and doing the tangles in the round. Um, so we're going to do a Zendala. You'll need a white one. If you don't have a Zendala, that's totally fine. You can use a sketchbook or white computer paper and just draw a circle that is about 4.5 inches in diameter. You'll also need a black pen, a number 2 pencil, and a tortillon. And I will be using some gel pens. These are metallic gel pens. You could use colored pencils or markers or whatever you'd like to add color if you choose to add color. You'll also need something to draw circles with. So I have a compass, and I also do have just something to draw um, around. So if you have something to draw around, that works well. And this just so happens to work really, really well. So I'm not going to be able to use this tape for anything else except for our Zendala projects. So I'm going to put my tape on there to draw our first 2 circles. So our larger circle is going to be about 4.25 inches. And that is on the outside. And I just want to make sure I'm pretty much centered here as much as I can be. And I'm just going to draw around it. So your large circle is about 4.25. And then we need another circle, which is going to be about 3 inches in diameter. So this roll of tape just does it for me pretty well. But now we need another smaller circle, and that one's going to be about 2.25 inches in diameter. I took a stab at marking my center there, and an easy way to do that, if you don't want to just take a guess at it, is to kind of mark it off in the center. Put your ruler across the half, and roughly at about 2.25 around there is going to be where you're looking at, and then go the other way as well and mark it off so you can kind of find the center. So our smaller circle is about 2.25, and I'm just going to double check to make sure I'm pretty much centered. I'm a little off, so I'm just going to adjust a little bit here and just see. That's better. Sometimes you do have to make some adjustments. All right, that's good enough. Cool. Now we're going to take our black pen. And there are ways to measure this, but I'm just, again, going to eyeball it. We're going to want to mark off, like picture a clock. So we're going to mark off roughly noon. So that would be the 12. And then across from that is going to be a mark for 6. And then we're going to have a mark for 3 and come across to 9. And then again, I'm not measuring, I'm just kind of guessing. So you want to have a mark at 1 and 2. And then I'd like to just come across. And I'm doing 7 and 8. And then back in this quadrant here. So we have noon, 1, 2, 3. So 4 and 5. And again, I kind of like to just visualize it. Doesn't have to be exact. Once you have your marks around the circle, we are going to draw a line between our largest circle and our middle circle. And we're just picturing going straight down. So we have those 2 lines done. I'm going to rotate a little bit and do the same thing with our next ones. So we're just drawing our lines between the 2 circles. So we have 12 sections that are sort of squarish. And for our first tangle, we're going to use well, and we're going to fill that into each of these 12 sections, 12 squares. Well starts with a little orb, and I'm going to pick a square that's maybe a little larger. This one looks a little larger. So I'm just going to draw a little orb, and I went around it twice because I want it to be pronounced. And I'm going to actually go in this direction, the counterclockwise direction. So there's different ways you can do that. You can go from the corner around the top of the orb and just keep going around it. But the other way you can do it is to go from the orb out to your corner. So whichever way you do it, you're going to do that 4 times around your little orb. Our next step is where we do a little bit of a variation. We are going to aura around our original lines. And I'm going to just work my way around. So an aura is where we're copying the shape that we did before, but there's a space in between there. And we're just going to keep doing that until we fill up our entire square. And if you want to work from the other direction, again, you can. That's entirely up to you. But when I do the auras, I like to work from the inside and kind of go out. But everyone has their own individual preference. I have a little bit of space left over here, so I'm going to add one there. Now, this is where you have to make a choice. You can do this same tangle in the same direction for all 12. But I'm going to switch off and do the other direction. So I'm going to do every other one. But I'm going to do this direction first in just 6 of these squares. So I'm going to skip one and come over to the next one and put another little orb in it. So I left this one empty for now, and I've moved on to this one. And then I'm going to start with our same kind of a curved line. And I go from the corners in. But if you'd prefer to go from the orb out, that's awesome too. Once we have that, then we are going to start with our auras. And as I'm doing this, I'm kind of thinking about what I'm trying to pick for my word of the year. I still haven't chosen one. 2024 was kind of a challenging year, and I'm just not sure what to pick for my word yet. But as we're tangling together, I'm kind of reflecting on the past year. I'm also thinking about being in the moment and spending time with you doing this project. I'm so grateful for this opportunity that we have this technology and we can create beautiful works of art together. All right, so I'm just working my way around. Sometimes there's a little more space up in these top areas because it's a little wider up there. All right, we have 2 done. I'm going to skip this one and go to the next one. If you prefer to just do all 12 the same, you can continue on every one. But I just thought it'd be fun to switch it up a little bit and do the other direction as well. Just keep it balanced. And that is one of my goals for 2025. I don't know if that's going to be my word of the year, but one of my goals is to be more balanced in my life, whether it's hanging out with people or doing projects at work or at home. I'm just trying to find a better balance, I guess. All right, so let's do this next one. The same as the other 2. So feel free to just work at your own pace. If you need to pause this, go right ahead. And I like to put these auras in one at a time and rotate the tile. But some people might like to fill in each section. Um, for example, just doing the auras in this section like this, and then moving on to the next one. So that's an option too. I prefer just to keep working my way around and around. But you might want to do this way instead. I'm all for giving you options so that you can find your own style and make these projects your own. All right, skipping one and going to the next one. Again with the little orb. And I go from the corner in and around. And then I put my auras in. And I'm going to go back to working my way around because it's just my preference. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Skipping one and coming over here, putting an orb in there. And again, the same thing. So this is very repetitive, which gives us time to think and reflect. And I was thinking about it. I was talking with my cousin the other day, and I was thinking, like, maybe I need more than a word. Maybe I need a phrase. Would that be okay? I think it would be a phrase. You could even use this to document your favorite quotation by a famous person, or your favorite affirmation, or even your goals. So you're not limited to just a word. I think you could do whatever you want. If you have a theme, what if you have a theme for the year? Maybe you want to put that in there. So I think everyone's going to be different when it comes to picking a word or a phrase or a couple of words. That's what's so great about these projects is you can do whatever you want to. All right, we just have one more left. This one turned out, this little square is a little smaller. No worries. They're all individuals, just like we are. All right, put my auras in. And some people also might want to leave it like that. I like to fill it all the way in, but as I was doing this, I was thinking there's nothing wrong with leaving it like that. If you like that look, that would be fine too. I might try that myself on a different project. All right, so we have 6 of those filled in. Now we're going to go the other way. Let's try one. I think this one's a good one to start with. Um, it starts the same with a little orb, but instead of going from this corner over the top and circling in, we're going to start from the opposite side, the left, come over the top and circle in. I'm going to rotate and go from that corner and circle. So you can see it's like the flip side of what we were doing before. Now we're going to aura. So we're going the other direction. Rotate. So with this one, because it's gonna meet up on the side here, and I like working from the center and going out, and I'm trying to match up with the other side. If it doesn't, don't worry about it, because no one's really going to notice. But it's just one of the things that I really like to try to match up. So this one too, my aim is to match up with that one, if I can. So that's my goal. So it might be a little slower working in this direction, just because we're doing a little bit of matching here. And again, if it's easier for you to go actually from this side in, please feel free to do that. So what I mean is, instead of going from the inside out and trying to match, you can start from the point here and then go in. So that might be easier. So you can start from the point and go in. My preference is to go from the inside to the outside. So follow your heart and do whatever feels best to you. And sometimes I switch off. It just really depends on where I am in the project. And then we've got this area here. So now with just adding that one going in the opposite direction, you can see this, it's starting to connect and form this really cool pattern. So we've got patterns within patterns now. Isn't that cool? All right, moving on to our next empty little orb. And now we're going from the left over the top and around the circle. And then we can do our auras. It's got a nice curve to it. And just keep rotating around to finish that off. All right, now we can see more of that pattern taking shape. And it's going to show up even better when we do shading. There's quite a bit of shading with this, but it's super fun. I love shading. Okay, another orb. And then the same thing. Just work your way around. So yeah, I'm still thinking about my word. Finish that one off. Let's see, we've got two. Yep, it just fits. And maybe I'll add one more there. All right, so now we're all the way over to there. Okay, just three more to go. Little orb coming from the left. Now, if you did all of yours in the same direction, just keep in mind it's going to look a little different from mine, but it's still going to be amazingly beautiful. It's just your pattern will be a little different. Okay, how are we doing at home there? If you need to pause, please feel free to anytime. You can always come back. Little orb and putting in our curves here. I kind of think of them as, this kind of reminds me of a swirl. All right, so filling these in. All right, and we just have one more to go. Look at that. Isn't that cool? All right, here we go. Some of you might be done already. Oh, I have an extra little one down here. Look at that. Okay, well, we matched that. Cool. So now we have the task of inking over our circle strings. So very slowly and deliberately, just go over the circle we drew with our pencil. And we're all the way around. And then you want to do the same on the outside as well. Very slowly, very deliberately. If you need to go back and match something up, go right ahead. Almost done. Ah, there we are. Okay, so that's our border of well. And it's different from our last tangle of the year for 2024 was Well, Who, which I love that one. But this is well, and there are some similarities there. All right, so for the center, last year we did a crescent moon. Well, for let's see, a year ago we did a crescent moon flower, I believe. Yes. And this year I had flowers on my mind too, but I thought we'd do something a little bit different because not everyone is into the botanical tangles or the flowers or the blossoms. So this is sort of blossoming, but it's more geometric, and I really like it. It is called Biscus, and it's by Vicki Bassett. And it's really cool. I think she has another one called Showgirl, which is very flowery. And I like that one too. But Biscus is going to start with a square. So right around your center, you're going to draw, just going to put in a little square. And it's probably close to the size of my pen cap. So it's not very big. Um, Let me see how it compares to my pencil. Yeah, it's about the width of my pencil here. So it's not very big. Once you have that in, you're going to kind of draw like an extension from that square. So it's about the same distance from here to here and here to here. They're even. And then we're going to draw a little bit up, maybe not as long as this distance, just a little bit shorter. And then we're going to just complete that triangle with a line. I'm going to rotate and do the same thing. Have that extension, a little bit of a line up, and a straight line to that corner to complete that triangle. And we're going to do that on all four sides. And we're back to where we started. So we're going to build a larger triangle on top of these small ones. So I'm kind of looking at the distance halfway between the end of the first triangle and between our inner circle there. So we've got that extension going again. And then a line. And then finish that triangle. A little bit of an extension, line up, finish off the triangle. And again, do that on all four sides. All right, and we're going to do this one more time. There's no limit. I mean, you could do this more times than we're going to do it. We're just going to do it 3 times. I'm bringing the extension almost to the inner circle. And then when I go up, I'm going to the circle and just touching it. And then back down to finish off the triangle. I'm just touching the circle right there. So we have this in our center. And it is a little flower-like. I mean, these could be petals, but very geometric types of petals. And now to finish this one off, from this neighboring small triangle, I'm just going to keep drawing straight up to the circle. And then you have like a large triangle here. I'm just going to divide that in half. And then from these areas, I'm just drawing lines out to the circle. So again, between this larger triangle and this smaller one, I'm going off of the smaller one and just drawing a line straight up. And then we have this large triangular shape here, dividing that in half. All right. And then I am again going to ink over the pencil line. And we have our center done with Biscus. Something I like to add, because I feel like I need something in the center here. So I kind of take inspiration from print top, but instead of a circle, it's a square. So I'm just going to fill it in, spiral in. I just feel like it adds a little something to it, but that's optional. I am going to set my pen aside now, and I'm going to start shading. So for this one, I like to shade, first of all, around the inside of the circle. And I'm going pretty dark here. It's not even medium, it's a little more than medium pressure. I just really feel like doing a lot of shading, so I am filling that in. Of these two halves here in the large triangle, I'm just adding shading to that. And then I'm adding a little shading to the area above the smallest triangle. And then just a, a little bit above the medium triangle. Then we've got our original large one, leaving that kind of empty right now, and going on to this one. We're going to blend this out, so don't worry if it's not smooth looking yet. It will be. And I'm still thinking about my word for 2025. Has anyone ever used the same word 2 years in a row? I don't think I have. But I was just kind of wondering if anyone has. All right. I think that's all the graphite I'm adding for now. Before we blend, let's add our graphite to our border. So for this one, again, I'm going to do the first six and then the second set of six, just to be consistent. So I like to shade in these areas here. It kind of looks like it's underneath this here. And that's true for all four sides. So I kind of work my way around and add the shading like that. I'm going to skip and go to I'm doing all of the ones that are in the same direction, just so they're consistently shaded. And I do like to keep rotating because of the repetition. If you feel like you don't need to do that, you don't have to rotate. Whatever makes you comfortable. There is a lot of shading with this one. All right, over to here. And again, it's probably, I'm using not light pressure, not medium, but it's like a little more than medium. I just feel like this one needs a lot of shading. And then we're going to shade our opposite ones. Again, I'm doing the areas kind of under that curve. So putting the graphite right along that ink line. Take your time with this process. Just enjoy the process, enjoy being in the moment. Shading's definitely my favorite part. I just love shading. And I'm going to add a little graphite to the left of our straight lines. And I'm doing that for all of them. All right. And I want to add graphite along our middle circle. all along there. All right, we made it all the way around. And then you probably already guessed, but I want to add graphite just inside our larger circle as well. All right, there we are. Now we can take our tortillon. Okay, our friend the tortillon. If you don't have one of these, you can use a cotton swab, a Q-tip, or you can even blend with your finger, but be careful, make sure you wash your hands afterwards, all right? Um, so the tortillon. Okay, what's awesome about the tortillon is when you get a lot of graphite on the tip, you can add some shading to areas that don't have any graphite. So let me show you. So I'm going to start on the inside and work my way out again. So I'm going to start with one of these completely shaded triangles. And then I'm going to blend this out as well. And this. But this one doesn't have any, but I'd maybe like to add just a little bit. And I can do that with the tortillon because it already has a lot of graphite on it. All right. And just rotate and keep going. Blending here. Add a little bit there. And then we can go around the circle here. And I put the graphite on pretty heavily, so it's giving it this nice depth there. And remember, you can always go back and add more graphite. You can always add more. All right, that part's done. Now we're going to do each of our squares here. And I'm just working within each square. You need to rotate, go right ahead. You do whatever is most comfortable for you. See, I think I made it all the way around. Yeah, it looks like it. And then we also have this area by each of the lines. I think we made it around there. And then we're going to do this inner part. And then the last area is along the largest circle. Yeah, I think I'm all the way around. All right. So it has this lovely look to it with the graphite. It has this nice depth, and I really, really do like that. So just two tangles this time. Well, by Zentangle and Biscus by Vicki Bassett. Vicki Bassett. Thank you, Vicki. Very creative. I really like it. It has almost like an Art Deco feel to it. Now, this is the time where we can add a little color. If you would like to, you don't have to, but I think I would like to add some color. And I have these are the Uniball Signo, and these are metallic ones. Let's see. So I'm going to do a pink with my smaller triangles here. And then with the gold, and just a reminder, gel pens can take a little long to dry, so just be careful not to smear it. So I'll do my best here. So I'm doing a gold for the middle-sized triangles. Like that. So it has a really nice color to it as well. And then I'm going to go with this violet for the largest ones. So you could use colored pencils or markers or whatever you like to add color. It doesn't have to be gel pens. These look really awesome in person. They have a really nice metallic sheen to them. And I love the way that these pens are really juicy, like that. And then I am going to take a red one for my word. And I've been thinking about it. And I think I'm going to go with gratitude. I'm just feeling really grateful and appreciative of being able to be here with you and just being here on earth. So I think I'm gonna go with gratitude. I'm just trying to picture where I want to write the word. It's gonna go in this middle ring here. Um, but there are different variations with my tile. I'm just trying to figure out like where I want to put that. And my gel pen's still drying as well. So I think I'm going to write it right across the top, being careful not to smear the center. So, and G, A, E, I, T, U, D, E. Gratitude. I'm just going to put a little bit of something extra there. And then once I have that in, I just want to put 2025 on the bottom. All right, that's it for me. Um, if you'd like to share your word of the year with me, I'd love to know what you chose. Now to wrap it up, we want to add our initials to it. So I'm just trying to think where I can fit my initials in. And I think down here, I can kind of fit it in here. I'm going to do a little N and make that an H. And then I think it's still a little wet, so I'm going to be careful flipping it over. So our two tangles were Well by Zentangle, and we did a little bit of a variation on Well. And we had Biscus by Vicki Bassett. Okay, and I like to put my name on it. And then the date, January 1st, 2025. We did it. 2025 is here. Yay. I'm so happy. And this was our word of the year project. And I think I should put their 2025 just to emphasize it's 2025. Oh, I'm so happy. All right, and that's it. You could do this a couple of times, and like I said, you could do this with a quotation or an affirmation or an intention or goals. You might have more than one word, or you might want to do this for a birthday or an anniversary, or just maybe check in 6 months into the year and see if your word has changed. All right, this has been so much fun, and I just love this tile. And I love spending time with you and tangling with you and learning new things. Um, I hope this has been as much fun for you as it has been for me. And I truly am filled with gratitude. Special thank you to all of you out there for inspiring me to do these videos and for joining me on this adventure. Have a happy new year. Um, be safe, be well, and may many, many blessings come your way. All right, that's all for now. Take care. I love y'all. Bye bye.